News, views, voices of the global.
I'm Dr. Sandeep Vohra. I am digital mental health entrepreneur and I am chairperson of technology and psychiatry of Indian Psychiatric Society, and I am a clinical psychiatrist and psychotherapist from India.
What is the problems that mothers have after they give birth to a child? There is a depression that I have noticed among young mothers.
Yeah, so the category of problems which any mother after birth of child can have is, one is, we label it as under three different headings. One is postpartum blues, the other is postpartum depression, and third is postpartum psychosis. So all the three categories have symptoms, and postpartum blues is the commonest, which there is fluctuation in the mood, and there is there could be mood swings, which actually is self-limiting. But when we say postpartum depression, then there are symptoms of clinical depression in which the sadness and loss of interest in all pleasurable activities persist for minimum 2 weeks or more, and there is sadness. Besides sadness, there are crying spells, disturbed sleep. Sleep could be hypersomnia or insomnia, and the appetite could be too less or too much. There are ideas of hopelessness, worthlessness, like that, and the person tends to withdraw and is always negative. And in severe cases, there are suicidal ideation. There is suicidal ideation also. When we talk of postpartum psychosis, that is a category where there is break from reality, and psychosis means that the person starts imagining things which do not exist, and in such cases the person does not have insight, and they have different thoughts not related to reality, in which they can listen to voices, they can have people, they can suspect people, they can have referential ideas. That would mean that if they are going out, or if they are at home and people are talking among themselves, they start feeling that it is regarding them only they are talking. You can have a delusion of persecution, in which the person starts suspecting that the person will be harmed in one way or the other. Like that, due to break in reality, the person starts behaving abnormally. The person can become violent, abusive, aggressive, like that. So based on the type of the problem, we can have these three different types of postpartum problems in any woman.
If you notice something like this, what action should be taken?
See, the most important aspect in any case of postpartum problem is one has to understand that because of the baby, the mother is not able to sleep well at night. So usually in such cases, we try to correct the sleep, and of course, if we feel that the symptoms are increasing or the symptoms cannot be handled, by actually understanding and talking to the patient. Many times there are multiple issues on the mind of the woman, and if you talk to them, you can actually understand the reasons or the things challenging them. So depending on the degree of severity, the best way is to immediately consult a mental health professional, and based on the analysis by a qualified mental health professional, you can take the treatment. Usually for such cases, either medication or counseling or both are required. So depending on the degree of severity and the analysis by the mental health professional, the same treatment can be taken.
Do you see an increase in these cases being reported in India?
Yes, there is definitely an increase. The reason being that the buffering of the family support is decreasing gradually all over. In India also the same is happening. So we have husband and wife working, both of them are working, and there is nobody at home. So once the mother, after giving the birth to the child, in the past there used to be family buffering in the form of in-laws or the parental side of the mother. That is decreasing now. So unfortunately the mother who has given birth to the baby does not have any support. So she is waking up at night to feed the baby, then she is taking care of the responsibility of the household chores, and plus when working, she has to take care of those her work issues also. So that is the reason we feel that the number of such cases are increasing.
Is there a decreased or increased stigma associated with this?
I would say the stigma is there, but gradually, as there is awareness is increasing about the fact that mental health problems are very common, it is decreasing. But yes, it is still there, and people are reluctant to talk about it to others because of the fact that they feel that they will be stigmatized, they will be labeled as insane. But the fact is that what we see cases are mostly commonly are anxiety, depression, and stress related. Of course, psychosis comes to us, but it's at a much lesser percentage.
You have been recognized by in New York recently. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
So I've been honored with International Fellowship by American Psychiatric Association, and I really thank them for giving this honor to me.
So, do you find that this problem of postpartum psychosis among Indian Americans is any different from the ones in India?
No, I would say that the symptoms and the problems are same whether it's America or India, and unfortunately the stigma is also there in both the countries, and gradually it is decreasing. But the fact is, the more awareness we generate, the easier it becomes for us to help others, and the more awareness is generated, then people also know, especially mothers post delivery, that what they are experiencing is something very common, and it is because of various factors. And besides giving birth to the baby, other issues, psychological, biological, and other issues in their life. So the earlier we recognize, easier it becomes for us to bring them back to normalcy at the fastest pace.
Sometimes new mothers are reluctant to eat medication because they are feeding the babies. Do you find that a barrier in taking medication?
Yes, that there is a barrier, and many times the mothers say that we will not take medicine. So we, depending on the degree of severity, we advise accordingly. And many times, because all the medicines are secreted in breast milk, so there is no perfect medicine per se in the world like that. But when we say that when we see that the severity is there, and then we compare the maternal mental health for with the fact that she has to look after the child, then we counsel and advise the mother to take medication. And of course, for breastfeeding, then we fix up a time so that the mother can take the medicine, but the medicine before the baby takes feed, we can adjust in such a way that it doesn't reach the baby, the timings such a way.
I see. With medication, it is reversible. But if medication is not taken, what can happen?
Unfortunately, if you see, many times we read about unfortunate incidents of mother killings their newborns. Most of the time we see that there is underlying postpartum psychotic element in such cases. So the earlier it is treated, it is better, because if we don't treat the mother, then the illness can worsen and the person can either harm herself or others. So the earlier we recognize and treat, the better it is.
Can it also lead to mental institutionalization?
Yes, in some cases when we see the patient is not responding, usually in postpartum psychosis cases, or when we see that the mother is actively suicidal. These are the cases where hospitalization may be required. But the good part is that if we do it at a timely, at the right time, then most of these problems are treatable and the symptoms can be reversed to a great extent. And in most of the cases, if the medicine is taken as prescribed by the mental health professionals under their guidance, the patient recovers completely.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.